Hello and welcome back to WION World is One. I'm Kanishka Sarkar and this is Speed News. Let's take a look at all the stories that are making headlines at this hour. The death toll from devastating floods and landslides along the Nepal-Tibet border has risen to 469. More than 1,400 people missing, with at least 290 Indians, including tourists and Mount Kailash pilgrims, still unaccounted for. Authorities say 84 Indians have been rescued so far. Rescue teams are continuing efforts to locate those still unaccounted for and bring affected people to safety. The Nepalese army's rescue teams are racing to save more than 100 people trapped inside a hydro-powered tunnel after devastating floods swept through the region. The army says 350 workers and locals have already been rescued, but rapid flood waters and difficult terrain are hampering operations. Survivors described massive destruction, with workers swept away and hydropower projects badly damaged. Rescuers have evacuated 555 tourists and relocated 499 local residents and construction workers in Tibet after a devastating mudslide near the Nepal border. Chinese state media reports that all 555 affected tourists have been evacuated, with no tourists left stranded. The nationalities of the tourists have not been specified yet. US President Donald Trump says Russian President Vladimir Putin will not attack NATO territory, playing down reports of US concerns about a possible Russian move against the alliance. Trump also dismissed reports that CIA Director John Ratcliffe traveled to Moscow this week to warn Russia against attacking a NATO member. The Kremlin confirmed Ratcliffe held talks with Russia's foreign intelligence chief, but said that there was nothing unusual about the meeting. The visit was Ratcliffe's first known trip to Russia as a CIA director and comes amid stalled Ukraine peace talks and continued tensions between Moscow and the West. US President Donald Trump has hinted that his administration may impose sanctions on Chinese banks over their links to Iran. When asked why he had not yet sanctioned Chinese banks, Trump said that this does not mean that his administration is not doing so. He added that the US does not have to announce every action in advance. China has opposed US secondary sanctions on Iran, calling them illegal. China remains Iran's biggest trading partner, including crucial oil transactions handled by banks. The U.S. Naval Institute says the USS Theodore Roosevelt carrier strike group is expected to be deployed in West Asia in the coming weeks. It will replace the USS George Washington, which recently arrived in the region. The move comes as the U.S. Navy intensifies carrier rotations. Pakistan and Kuwait have signed a new defense agreement aimed at expanding military cooperation between the two countries. The Protocol Agreement 2026, signed in Rawalpindi, builds on a bilateral defense cooperation agreement that was signed in 2023. The agreement was finalized during a visit by Kuwaiti Defense Minister Sheikh Abdullah Ali Abdullah Al Salim Al Sabah. He held the talks with Pakistan Defense Minister Khwaja Asif and Army Chief Field Marshal Asim Munir. Under the agreement, Pakistan will provide support to Kuwait in areas including military training, capacity building, and border management. Syrian President Ahmad al-Shara has appointed Kurdish leader Mazloum Abdi as an advisor to the presidency. This comes days after the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces announced their dissolution. The move follows a deal to integrate the group's fighters and civilian administration into the Syrian state. Trump administration has issued new guidance seeking to restrict certain internships for international students. Universities have been warned that they could lose certification to enroll foreign students if they fail to comply with circular practical training rules. UCLA has paused some circular practical training authorization while it reviews recent federal guidance and determines the next steps. While UC Berkeley said that it may not process certain requests in the near future, though degree-required training will continue. The move comes amid growing federal scrutiny of U.S. universities, raising concerns over academic freedom and due process. Icelanders will vote on Saturday on whether to resume negotiations on joining the European Union, with the campaign entering its final hours. The referendum will not decide EU membership itself. A second vote would be required if Iceland reaches a membership agreement with the bloc. The No campaign says Iceland is better off outside the EU, while the Yes camp says reopening talks would allow voters to assess the terms before making a final decision. Iceland abandoned EU membership talks in 2013 after 4 years of negotiations. Renewed interest has since been fueled by economic pressures, the war in Ukraine, and growing regional security concerns. Cuba will reopen its new school year on September 1st, with nearly 1.4 million children and adolescents expected to return to class despite a deepening fuel transport and electricity crisis. The government plans to bring in university students, professionals from other sectors, and retired teachers while offering additional compensation to keep schools staffed. Authorities have told schools to allow children to attend in comfortable clothes while still wearing their traditional red neckerchiefs. US President Donald Trump has ordered Lake Ontario to be renamed Lake America. Trump signed an executive order directing the US Department of the Interior to update the lake's name in the official US geographical naming system. Trump said the name change would take effect immediately, but Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has rejected the move, saying the lake will remain Lake Ontario, then, now, and always. Carney said the name is more than 400 years old and comes from the Wendat term Ontario. Hundreds of Norwegians gathered outside the royal palace in Oslo to hold a vigil for King Harald. The people laid flowers, lit candles, and left messages for the 89-year-old monarch. According to the royal palace, King Harald, who was hospitalized with complications from a blood disorder, is now in extremely critical condition. Emotional crowds gathered through the night, with some people in tears as they paid tribute to the king. A choir also sang spontaneously outside the palace as Norwegians came together in a show of support for the monarch. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin on the sidelines of the upcoming SCO summit in Bishkek. India's Ministry of External Affairs says that the two leaders will review the full range of India-Russia bilateral relations. Modi will visit Uzbekistan from August 29 to 30th before traveling to Bishkek for the SCO summit from August 31st to September 1st. The meeting comes days after External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar met Putin in Moscow and discussed growing bilateral economic cooperation. South Korea, the United States and Japan will hold joint military exercises from September 7th to 11th in international waters near Jeju Island. The annual Freedom Edge exercise will focus on countering North Korea's nuclear and missile threats. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff says that the drills are defensive in nature and aim to promote regional peace and stability. Anti-migrant protests have escalated into clashes with police in Spain's North African enclave of Ceuta, a month after a mass influx of migrants from Morocco. Demonstrators moved towards a beach where migrants had been sleeping, with some belongings set on fire. Police formed lines to prevent further confrontations as tensions rose. Protesters also blocked Red Cross vehicles carrying aid for migrants. The unrest follows the arrival of large numbers of migrants in Ceuta in late July, most of whom have left since the enclave. The latest demonstration highlights growing tensions over migration and security in the Spanish territory, which lies on Africa's north coast. The Democratic Republic of Congo has launched an Ebola vaccination campaign in Kisangani, beginning with the frontline health workers as authorities try to contain the country's largest and deadliest Ebola outbreak on record. DR Congo's health minister said that more than 50,000 doses have arrived, with vaccinations set to expand to provinces surrounding Ituri, the epicenter of the outbreak. Wildfires have swept across several parts of Algeria, killing 12 people and injuring 54 others. The fires have been fueled by a severe heat wave gripping North Africa, with authorities recording 154 wildfires across the country on Wednesday. In Zazel province, residents are assessing extensive damage to homes, vehicles and agricultural land. 5 people were killed in Zazel, with 4 others dying in Bizet and 3 in Tizi Ouzou. Residents say that fires destroyed homes and olive groves, forcing some families to flee to safety. Sky watchers across parts of the world have witnessed a rare, deep, partial lunar eclipse with Earth's shadow covering about 96% of the moon and giving it a striking reddish glow. The August 27th to 28th eclipse was visible across parts of the Americas, Europe and Africa, but not visible from India. Moving on to updates from the world of business, at the Jackson Hole conference, multiple Federal Reserve officials warned that U.S. inflation remains stubbornly above the Fed's 2% target. Kansas City Fed President Jeffrey Schmidt said that current interest rates may not be restrictive enough, while Cleveland Fed President Beth Hammock signaled that she remains open to raising rates. Chicago Fed President Austin Goolsbee also urged caution, citing energy costs and tariffs. With inflation at 3.7% in July, markets are watching Fed Chair Kevin Warsh's Friday speech for clues on future rate policy. Tokyo's inflation accelerated, strengthening expectations that the Bank of Japan could raise interest rates at its September meeting. Core inflation reached 1.8% in August, moving closer to the BOJ's 2% target, while an index excluding fresh food and fuel hit 2%. The data adds to pressure on policymakers as rising food and energy costs keep price pressures elevated. BOJ Deputy Governor also called for timely rate hikes, though he stopped short of confirming a September move. Venezuela is considering leaving OPEC more than 6 decades after helping create the oil cartel as ties with the US deepen. No final decision has been made, but the idea has surfaced in talks with US officials. Washington is separately negotiating greater access to Venezuela's huge oil reserves while seeking to rebuild its battered oil industry. The exit may have little immediate impact on global supply because Venezuela's production has fallen sharply, but it could further weaken OPEC's unity and influence over oil prices. Moving on to tech updates now. 3 major UK airports have been hit by a cyber attack with data from about 8.7 million customers accessed. Manchester, London Stansted and East Midlands airports were affected. The stolen data includes email addresses, phone numbers, vehicle registration numbers and postcodes. The airport operator said that passenger safety, aviation security and airport operations were not compromised. Bank and payment details were also not stored on the hacked system. Customers have been warned to be alert for phishing emails, calls or texts seeking personal or banking information. Poland has asked the European Commission to impose $291 million on Meta, accusing the company of failing to adequately tackle fraudulent advertisements. Tests by Poland's national cybersecurity team found that 122 advertisements classified as fraudulent, but Poland says that Meta declined to remove 106 of them, or nearly 87%. The Polish government said that only 10 of the ads were removed, while 6 cases received no response from Meta. Meta says it is investing in technology and working with the industry and law enforcement to find and remove scams from its platforms. Russian-speaking hackers used SpaceX's AI coding assistant, Cursor, to help break in to a Belgian chemical company and at least 6 other firms earlier this year. A report by cybersecurity startup Gambit Security found that hackers used Cursor's AI agent to carry out hundreds of malicious operations after claiming the activity was part of a simulation. The campaign targeted companies in Belgium, Germany, Scotland, Argentina, Italy and the US, including cleaning products maker Christians and title insurance company Bayou Title. Gambit found that 28 chat sessions between hackers and Cursor's AI agent. The agent sometimes refused harmful requests, but the hackers were able to bypass the safeguards by repeatedly claiming that the hack was a test. South Korea's media regulator has said that Meta's proposed changes to curb potentially addictive social media features for young users should ideally apply worldwide. The Korea Media and Communications Commission says that social media platforms need to take greater responsibility for protecting children and teenagers. The regulator pointed to 7 bills pending in South Korea's National Assembly, including proposals to restrict social media access for users under 14. Other proposals would limit algorithms and features that could encourage excessive use among teenagers aged 14 to 19. OpenAI will start showing ads to ChatGPT Free and Go users in India as the AI company looks to expand its revenue sources. The company said that it will initially show ads for 50 brands, with Campaign Manager set to launch next month for marketers. According to OpenAI, advertisers will need a minimum daily budget of 725 rupees to create campaigns. OpenAI said that India has more than 100 million weekly active ChatGPT users, making it one of the largest markets. On to updates from the world of sports. The Indian women's hockey team has secured its best finish at the World Cup in more than half a century. And the team did so in style by beating Germany to finish 5th at the showpiece event. India defeated Germany 3-1 in the 5th-6th place classification game on Thursday. Navneet Kaur scored twice and Ishika was also on target for India. Victory over the higher-ranked 2-time champion gives India its best finish at the World Cup since they came fourth in the inaugural edition in 1974. Sri Lanka held on for a dramatic draw in the second test against India in Colombo. The Lankans were rescued largely by a century from Sonal Danusha, who has emerged as a star for the hosts. India still win the series 1-0, but it has hurt their chances of reaching the World Test Championship final. Danusha frustrated the Indian bowlers again to finish unbeaten on 133. He became just the third batter in history to score twin hundreds for a team that followed on. The hosts eventually declared their innings on 429 for 9, and the players then shook hands. Moving on to updates from the world of entertainment now. Pop star Harry Styles paused his latest concert performance to pay a moving tribute to late country legend Dolly Parton. Addressing the crowd, Styles took a quiet moment to honor the icon's legacy. Rather than singing her material himself, Styles asked the audience to join him in celebrating her life as Parton's timeless classic. After earning $1 billion from theaters worldwide, Toy Story 5 has been given an official streaming premiere date. The movie is set to release on September 23rd. Fans will soon be able to join Woody, Buzz Lightyear and the rest of the gang from When Home. The fifth installment makes its home platform debut. Legendary voice actor Peter Cullen, who is best known for providing the commanding yet gentle baritone behind Transformers hero Optimus Prime, has died at the age of 85. Cullen passed away peacefully at his home in Los Angeles, surrounded by his family. Imran Hashmi's Avarapan 2 has achieved a major commercial milestone. The movie has crossed rupees 200 crores, that's nearly $20 million globally. The sequel has emerged as one of the year's top-performing Indian releases. ZEE5 has officially unveiled the promotional poster for its upcoming original title, Ghamasan. Directed by Tigmanshu Dhulia, the project brings together actors Arshad Varsi and Prateek Gandhi. Ghamasan represents a major new addition to ZEE5's slate of original crime thrillers.